All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Master of Nutrition and Dietetics, MND, our 2026 Admission Prospective Students Info Session. My name is Xingyan Fan. As you know, I'm the Dietetics Program Manager. I go by he, him. And in our today's session, we welcome everyone and hope all of the questions regarding the upcoming admission cycle that can be addressed. Um, so let's moving forward. First thing first, I would like to take a moment to do an land acknowledgement. I'm not sure in our audience how many people are based in Canada, how many are actually our UBC students. But in general, a lot of Canadians these days, we really take reflection and time on the land that we are situated. So UBC Vancouver campus and also our M&A program situates on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Musqueam people. Of course, this land and in a larger size, Vancouver, is located on the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations land. Our faculty, our program is committed to working with Indigenous communities and students, and we have a lot of engagement and learning in our curriculum and research in relation to reconciliation, Indigenous health, and cultural safety, and more going on with different EDI initiatives. For me, I just want to take a moment every year, get learning more with our land, with our indigenous culture. As actually immigrant here for over 12 years, I feel super grateful that this land welcomes me here, let me learn and grow and slowly get on, gradually get on the identity of being a Canadian and getting to know more the history of Indigenous people and learning what has happened brutally and badly in the history and reflecting on that as a newcomer, how we are or how I can work closely with different communities and really at this moment as a person who promote dietetics program are really willing to see more Indigenous students joining us to really working with your local communities to have more nutrition and food ideas, knowledges bringing to your people. So that is my little bit fraction. And I do encourage people here, if you know more or learning on the learning pathway to get more knowledge of our land, our indigenous culture and people there, reflecting on these days and then what has happened to you, what's new, and what you have learned. Yeah, with gratefulness, let's move forward. So I do want to take a very quick a quick moment to introduce our agenda today. So I will quickly talk about our team and who is here be with me. Of course, we will talk about our program's overview and dive deep into the admission processes that may help a lot of you today in the session and leave plenty of spaces and time for the Q&A. So here's a glance of our team, and I would really take a moment to introduce Anna Briscoe, who's joining us today as another panel here. So Anna, would you like to take a moment, introduce yourself?
Sure. Yeah. So my name is Anna Briscoe. I am a faculty lecturer at UBC, and I've been working for about 3 years, and I am the Master's in Nutrition and Dietetics lead. What that means is that I'm kind of looking at the program from a bigger picture. I teach particular campus courses. I also teach practice education courses, which we'll get into what that means. But I also look at it from a bigger picture in terms of how all the courses work together to fulfill the curriculum learning outcomes and how we can collaborate with other programs at UBC, things like that. And so I'm really excited that you're here and that you're interested in the program. It's been a large learning curve for us as we started the program, I guess, 4 years ago ish.
Yes.
So it's lovely to see it come to this place where we're now having graduates, and so it's just very exciting that you're all interested and get to learn with us. Hopefully, if we will see your applications in the next coming months.
Thank you so much, Anna. So I also want to take a very quick introduction to our team. So as you see, we have the structure under Dr. Tamara Cohen, who is our director of our dietetics entire program, including the undergrad part. I know some of you are interested in that part as well. I will speak of that later. Me as the program manager in charge of all of the student advising, general admission pieces, and also all sorts of administrative support. Skylar is our coordinator under me. Also, with our program guide and also the requirement, he's handling a lot of background administrative work for us. Below here in the blue background, you see, including Anna, we have actually 5 educators. Anna and Bruna are both our faculty lecturers. They are really fully on some campus courses teaching. So Anna did mention, but I would just let you know that Anna is a big fan of food, and then so they teach us a lot of food-related courses. Bruna actually has a lot of strong and heavy background in clinical nutrition. So Bruna is teaching our clinical nutrition care courses here. Tamar, Melissa, and Kara. 3 of them are more in charge of the practice education. And so our MND student and also the undergrad student will have mixed experience with those 3 educators when the time comes to the practice education. So they have very plenty experience to supervise, guide students, and also communicate with the preceptors to help students success in the practice education part. So only me and Anna available today, so we will give you as much information as we can. But this is the team. So if you get into the program, you're going to work with all of us here. We really work as a team to make sure our student success. All right. So on this slide, I list out 4 important links. So make sure you pay attention to those 4 links. The most important pieces is on the first one, that our information, the admission information, anything that we team will post it is posted on our own website. So what you all need is there. I think these days I've been keeping looking at things that to change. We have very detailed step-by-step guidance of how to approach our admission there. So if you miss things here, go back to that website, you will find everything. The second one is faculty page. I actually recently also updated that page with our faculty communication team. If you really want to see a full table of our curriculum, which actually Anna will talk about later, but if you want really have a reference, note somewhere, it is on this page. I listed out one by one the courses that you need to complete for this program. Graduate studies page. I believe some of you today joined us actually by clicking the link on the G plus PS UBC grad studies page to our site. So they actually have a very overarching information there. Including the tuition, including general information that given by grad studies, the guidance that they posted out there as well. Also, because this program is under Faculty of Grad Studies, so we actually also follow the general admission guide that regulated by the faculty. So the fourth pieces here is if you have questions, feel free, of course, drop your question in this inbox, which is dietetics.admissions@ubc.ca. I saw some of the familiar names here, so you've been contacting with me with that inbox. But for the large audience out there, outside there, if you want to talk to me, if you want to speak with me, if you want to book a specific inquiry advising appointment, go to that inbox. All right. So the next slide, I would love to pass the talking stick to Anna, and I will go over of the program overview for you.
Yes, thank you so much, Shinyan. I feel like you undersell your job. You're like the wizard of all things admissions, You keep us all organized and thoughtful, and I just so wonderful to work as part of this team. Um, so as a program between both the master's and the undergraduate, the Bachelor of Science in Food Nutrition dietetics major, which is at BSFN, we have shared values and vision and mission. And so both programs are really about inspiring learners to advance dietetic practice and food systems. We are located within the Faculty of Land and Food Systems. And so that's really important to connect back nutrition, dietetics to also food and how it's grown and all the people who produce it. So our mission is to prepare learners for variety entry practice roles in dietetics. These can be both clinical roles and also food service and also population health. And so that's how we have placements in all of those spaces. We have these values that I really think come forward in actually, we just created a new code of conduct, which I highly recommend you checking out. If you go to that About page, there's also one about policies. And so it's in with the policies. It's not a policy, but it really is about how do we bring these values to life for each other. So what does it mean? What does integrity mean? What does justice mean? Knowing that we live in complex times. How do we stay community focused and be collaborative? And so I think that's really important to just really and inclusive as we're all growing and learning together. So really wanting to just bring those values forward. They really inform everything we do, from the curriculum to the way we approach to how we do student advising. Really just deep values that influence how we run as a program. And so they're really important for all students to also understand. Yeah. And so we can go to the next slide. Then definitely want to talk about the learning objectives for the program. So again, really breaking down the components of what we consider entry-level dietetic practice. And so you can read them through there. One of the things I'll point out is just this around leading dietetic practice using evidence and practice-based research skills. We'll get to it a little bit more on the next page, but Tamara Cohen leads these amazing capstone projects. We're now again in our third iteration. I don't even know how many this time, but they're so fourth, yes. And every year I'm learning so much from the students. It's such an interesting way. It's not as big as a thesis, so it's not a research program, but we do have this research component that really brings together practice-based health professional training with also a research lens, because that's so important in translating all of the innovations into real life. So yeah, so at a glance, again, it's a 28-month full-time professional graduate program. This is the only program like this in Western Canada. One of a few programs that are like this in all of Canada. It's an integrated practice education placements, which means that you're having campus courses and you're having placements, so full-time in sites with organizations. This requires relocation because we are a provincial program. So placements are all across the province. And so you'll probably relocate at least twice throughout your program. And that's broken down. I'll get to it in the next slide in terms of when those placements happen. Degree outcome is really around entry to practice competence to become a registered dietitian in Canada. This should be updated. We are accredited with condition with Equal, which means that because we're a new program, we still have to go through a little bit more hoops next year. But we are accredited, which is great. So everyone can be excited about that. And again, this unique research capstone project, it's not a thesis-based program, doesn't require a faculty supervisor, but it does have that element of research. So if you are interested in learning more about how to be both a practitioner and a researcher, I love this like editing in real time. Amazing. So yes, we went through accreditation last fall and we forgot to update this slide. So it's all good. So yeah, very excited. So that's the program at a glance. Every year you have August or some of August off, and so it's not 20 months in a row. You have some breaks, but it is full time. And yeah, we can go to the next slide to look more at the curriculum. So this is at a glance. There's a lot of, it's just basically course titles and names. So what I want to point out is a few things is really just year one is getting your feet wet. So the first term is making sure, because we know that students come from different backgrounds. Some might have a lot of nutrition knowledge, some might have just enough. We'll talk about prerequisites, but that first term is really just making sure everyone has that foundational knowledge to understand nutrition, assessment, and then really introduction to the professional practice, to the practice of dietetics in that 380 class. The next term is more thinking about those different facets of dietetic practice. So food theory and applications is really, it's cooking, it's understanding food science, it's really having fun together. That's one of the courses I teach. We go in the kitchen, we make food, we share it, we talk about all the ways that food is so important in our lives. Then we have dietetic counseling skills and dietetics. So really looking at those communication skills. How do we really translate knowledge from the scientific journals into just talking to a person. Nutrition care one, so getting your feet wet with clinical, thinking about the nutrition care process, and then population and public health dietetics, which is again totally different, and I'm teaching that one as well, but really around thinking from a systems lens. How do we change the conditions that people are actually living in? Thinking about health promotion, so how do we look at prevention rather than looking at treatments for different nutritional treatments for different diseases? And so that's year one on campus. And then you go into practice education. And so those build off those experiences. Your first clinical experience or first placement experience is Intro to Nutrition Care. And so that's paired. It's also with the undergrad cohort. And some of these classes, actually, I'll note that some of the ones I'll point out that there are classes that you have shared with the undergraduate students and some that are separate. And this is typically how these sort of programs work. This is not anything unusual. There might be different learning outcomes. There might be different assignments. This is really typical because we only have one set of competencies for dietetic practice in Canada. So just heads up, that's a thing. And so you share about half your classes with undergraduate students, and some are separate. So then your first placement, again, May, June in clinical placements, and then in the summer end of it, so it's late June or actually more like July into early August, it's population health. And so again, you're going to be out in different organizations working on health promotion projects, really cool projects this year, everything from social media campaigns to reports to presentations to research-based more projects where it's really about capacity building, really interesting stuff. Then you come back to campus, have some August relaxing time, come back to campus, and then we're getting into more of these high-level pieces. So food service, food provision management, leadership, more clinical nutrition, and then come back and finish off those research projects. So you begin them in the fall, your first term, then you sort of work through them, focus most of that energy, and then that second fall, you're coming back to really implement, analyze, and then presenting in our colloquium. So that happens every year in December. So if you're interested, stay tuned. It's happening, I think, December 5th on campus and also virtually. So stay tuned for that. Then final term on campus, professional practice part 2, which is really about integrating all of those skills as you transition into placements. So counseling skills, education skills, all of those pieces with real life scenarios. Indigenous health and dietetics taught by our amazing faculty, Tabitha Robin, really goes deep into reflective practice and what does it mean? What are our accountabilities? And just really learning more of the truth of the history of those ways that nutrition and Indigenous populations have had positive and negative relationships. Nutrition Care 3, your final nutrition care course, that one's focused on chronic conditions. And then business and leadership. So if you're a person who wants to do private practice or you want to innovate and make food products, this would be a class that's really important for you. And then the remainder of your program is all in placements. So management and leadership placement, and then 3 nutrition care placements, 1 in the summer and then 2 in the fall. So you're finishing up in early December, and you won't graduate until the next May, but you finish up early December, and that makes it 28 months. So that's the overview.
Thank you so much, Anna. Before I transition to the next slide, I just want to have an anecdote for everyone that I actually reviewed the slide again at 3:35. I apologize that that little spot was not founded at that moment, and I was able to just try if I can edit on the spot, and it's working. So great.
Amazing.
All right. Let's moving on to the nitty-gritty part. this is what I have done at the 345. I feel like I need to put on a little bit notes here for you how we scale out our admission stuff. So let's get it into the hands-on part. Matters if you want to apply. Our admission requirements, as you see on this slide laid out, because as I mentioned that this program is under UBC Faculty of Grad Studies or Grad and postdoctoral studies. So we do follow their general admission requirement, which is 76 of your average 76 of your third year and the fourth year courses. And then we, at our program level, we are looking at 5 specific prerequisites. So they are human physiology, introductory biochemistry, statistics, introductory nutrition, and introductory food science courses. So those courses will be calculated as GPA or average, and then times 30% into the first component of your application competition. Of course, it is, as mentioned again, it's under the structure of grad studies. So we do require 3 references. That's per their requirement. You can have 1 academic reference and 1 professional, and the third one can be either one. In the past, I received a lot of inquiries coming to me. Xingyan, I have been working in the industry for long. I haven't got any chance to contact my academic professors before I lost contact. Can I have 3 professional reference? The answer is yes. So just please send a quick note to me, and I will just put on a file that saying that student is missing. The student cannot reach out to the academic professor or teacher. So 3 professional references is acceptable. So that's 3 reference. The 3 reference part counts 10%. And then the other heavy pieces that you're gonna spend a lot of time working on is your resume or CV and a piece of statement. So those 2 weight 30% in total as well. Then we use 30 plus 10 plus 30, so total 70% of score to lay it out and shortlist candidate. Only the shortlisted candidate will receive invitation for the interview, and the interview will count the last 30% for the entire admission process. So that's how everything counted. Back to the very top, I have a note that met or not met. It's a question that I got through years as well. A lot of students saying that, oh, Xingyan, I don't have a background in nutrition, in even science. Can I apply? Yes, the answer is yes. So that this program is open for any background, any experience. If you're interested and if your future goal is becoming a dietitian, this is the program that suits your need. But we do have students from various background there. Or the program or our admission committee, it feels like it is not that suitable to compare if you are graduating from a nutrition background with a GPA there and another student applicant with a law background, with a social science background. Your general GPA from your 4 year of studies in undergrad is not that compatible there. So we're gonna not just compare your general GPA. We are mainly focusing on how you achieve the 5 prerequisites. And we see the value of how important those 5 prerequisites are. Human physiology, biochemistry, if you recall what happened earlier, I can flip the page again, that in in this course table, 510, 550, those courses do need your strong background in how the human body function. What is the biochemistry foundation there to make those nutrients moving around? So those are very key pieces there. We are very high emphasis on student achievement. So those courses need to be well addressed. And in my review, when I'm very much looking at if a student really passed the baseline at least 72% or B+. And of course, Introduction to Food Science and Nutrition will build your strong foundation for NS course, like you are not just cooking there. You need to know how the food is functioning there. At least the basic of what is lipids, what is protein, what is the carb, right? So those are very key pieces. I know people have questions about that. I will open floor later and explain more about this with your specific question. So those are the courses you do need to achieve, and each of them needs to be 72 or B plus. Okay. Going down on another note here for the statement of intent and the resume. Everything has to be updated on our website. Make sure you download or check our website to download the statement of intent. If you listen to the recording from last year, you may notice this is an update. So for the statement this year, the word limit go up to 300 words. So give you 50 word more to address a little bit more of yourself. So 300 words, please do not pass this limit because beyond that, we will not review it or your points will be deducted. Okay, so going on a little bit more note on the prerequisite, because this is the most pieces objectively people want to know more, something that you can control on end. Student, first of all, coming to me say, I'm working on that. Perfect. You're on your way to get into the admission process. Perfect. Other students will ask, oh, Xinyan, I did not achieve very well in one of the courses. What will we do? So students are allowed to repeat courses or repeat those prerequisites, and the admission will take the highest attempt of all repeat. And how we're going to see it is once the students start your application, you probably have some courses in progress. That is fine. You will need to, of course, address this in our self-reported form, and that been linked to the application as well. It's a survey there. It's like the Qualtrics survey you submit there, but you will fill out the form there. Let me know what is in progress, where you're in progress those courses, when the expected completion date as well. This matters your eligibility. And by January 8th, which is the beginning of the winter term 2, the calculation is still going on. So I'm still open the door for students who submitted the application and want to update the grades. You can update at this moment. So please update at least your 3 prerequisites needs to be ready. Otherwise, we don't know how you do well in academic. So please have at least 3 prerequisites ready by that moment. And if you are strong enough, being selected, and even finally get offer from our program, then you will need to submit all of the grades by May the 4th. That is to say, if you have course that lasts from September to April, which is the human physiology course, I'm just specifically saying that, you will be able to achieve if you finish by the end of April. In UBC, we also offer biochemistry in term 1 and term 2. So some students are doing biochemistry in term 2. Is that okay? That's fine, as long as you have 3 prerequisites complete by the time we are reviewing your CV, reviewing statement, and so we can have the score adding on together. So that's prerequisite conditions. And speaking of self-report, why does it matter? So make sure you do submit and go through the step because I would love you to let me know what is equivalent. What do you think that is makes sense to those 5 prerequisites if you did not complete it in UBC? We do have a reference doc called approved prerequisite list. That one is very strong. If you complete courses across Canada in other institutions, a few of your courses, maybe you can find it there. So they've been listed and no problem. Those courses will be counted toward the prerequisite calculation. And we also have the program, of course, interests a lot of international students there. Of course, your prerequisites may not be achieved or completed in Canada. Then a strong request from the program and from the committee is to ask you fill out the prerequisite checklist. There's a Word document you can download from the website. Check everything off, and the most important pieces is to submit a syllabus or syllabi of that specific course. So we can take a look, oh, okay, true, those content meet the biochemistry requirement, and your human physiology course completed all reviews of 8 human body system. Perfect. So this is a very important step. And I do appreciate and I would love to tell all of our potential applicants. Some of our previous applicants did a great job. They even have their course being recognized by our approved prerequisite list, they still complete this checklist for me and then upload the syllabi. This is giving a very strong and organized file for us to review what you have completed. Although you don't need to if it's listed there, but this is really good pieces for us to see, oh, student have been doing this and progress with that. So this self-report form is mandatory. Everybody needs to fill in the prerequisite checklist. If your course is not being recognized, of course, please fill it out. If you find yourself not sure if or not, yeah, it is recommended that you complete the step as well. Okay. All right. Then an overview or timeline of what is happening after our session. So Friday, November the 15th, 4 p.m. is the deadline to submit your application. The portal will be closed by that time. So make sure you fully submit your application via UBC Grassdays application portal, and also fully submit your item to self-report form. And once you click the button submit, the application system is very smart, maybe, I don't know, but it's smart enough to trigger all of the reference emails to those reference emails you put it in. And then your referee or your professor, your professional supervisor will be able to fill in a form and also upload the reference letter for you. They will have 2 weeks for that to finish this step. So received your reference letter by the end of the November the 30th. So another note or advising note on the side is it is our applicant's responsibility to check whether your reference people, your professor, supervisor did their job, check them whether they received the link or not, whether they have some issues by uploading things. So we do see students previously that tried their best, but eventually the reference letter was not arrived, and then it caused the issue that the application never moved forward to a complete application. Even you pay the fee, your application sits in a pool called incomplete. So please make sure that you check in with all the people that you trust. Love you so much, want to make a lot of efforts for your application. So check with them whether they complete the step. Oh, I forgot to mention here. On the last note, there's a very tiny line saying, please do not use any open email inbox, especially from your reference people. So what it means is that don't put it in any inbox like at gmail.com, at hotmail.com. The system will not recognize those address and will not trigger any email to those inbox. It has to be an inbox that affiliated with certain organization. Okay, so if you have questions, again, with that reference technique part, reach out to me or review our guide. In the guide, I did mention that you are able to opt into an option called mail in your reference. So in the end of the day, mail still work. So that's the final option there. You can always mail in the reference letter, but there's some nitty-gritty stuff you need to pay attention, like really how to sign it, how your reference needs to seal the envelope there. We all have an example and picture there. Okay, so after everything being received by November 30th, my big work starts. I will have day and night to calculate everything. I will send off your application to all of our panel members to score it, to review it. This is happening from the beginning of December all the way to the middle of January. So by the end of January, you will be able to hear from us whether your application has been moved forward. In February, we will have the interview. And then we would love to send out the result as early as we can, although I put on the March, but based on our process last a few years, by the end of the by the end of the February, most of the students will get the result, whether you been accepted or not. It is also trying to make sure, especially for international students who are not in Canada, have the ability to really get your study permit ready to get yourself moving into Canada. Everything, goes on smoothly. So we try our best to give you enough time prepare for the new term. Okay, so a little more, bit more pieces here. I think most of things have been mentioned in the previous presentation, but just a bit more that how application has been assessed. So the panel of faculty members, when we read it, we will see the application holistically. As I just said, the GPA or the academic performance will just be calculated based on the 5 prerequisites. And of course, in general, law students ask how I can write a strong resume, CV, and statement of intent. So remember what Anna just presented that what is our program? What is our program's vision, mission, values? And what is the required skills? What is the learning objective? Why those things interest you? Why you want to be a dietitian? Why you want to come to our program? Yeah, so those are general questions I will throw to you, and you can stay there and think about it, and then reflecting on all of the experience you have and form those 2 documents. So of course, working with your reference as well to make sure that they address the suitability for you in their reference letter. So interviews are conducted by the panel, and we assess applicants also based on the predefined criteria for each questions. And then definitely we'll need to see how students present themselves in a very timely, structured form, and see like how students perform orally as well, because it is a profession that really relying on your communication skills. So this is how our application will be assessed. I actually also read a question that in our entry this year, like some of students are interested, what is the difference about your program between the undergraduate program and the graduate program? Today we are talking more about the MND, the graduate program side. As you see, the timeline has been listed out here again. If you are interested in the BSFN, Bachelor of Food Science, Food, Nutrition and Health Dietetics major, so we have another info session happen in the middle of November. That is more for undergrad side. But just want to do a quick comparison for you. The MND program is a 28-month program. It is shorter, it is quick, everything is compact together for you. Undergraduate program is a bit slightly different. It lasts 5 years. It takes 2 years to complete 54 prerequisites there. Some students are able to transfer a few credits into the undergraduate program, but grad program does not accept any transfer credits. For undergrad, of course, you will need to be a UBC student first. You need to be a student under our faculty to complete some of the courses, especially like LFS 250, FNH 200. Some of the courses only offer at our faculty. So probably some students need to be either non-credited study students at UBC or directly apply into BSF and general major to get yourself settled in, get those credits in, and then start your application and preparation for the undergraduate program. And once the student being accepted to undergrad side, it takes 3 years to complete the program. So it's a bit longer as well. So stay tuned if you're interested in the undergrad side, but we can focus on more today on the masterpieces. Okay, just to be transparent to everybody, it is always a pressing thing when I comment into this slide. It is a reality thing that we need to all face, which is the finance. So here is a screenshot of the table from Grad Studies website. It lists out what will be causing you starting the application step. So you see the application fee for domestic student and also international student. And the way that they charge student tuition is per installment. The installment means 4 months or a term. So this is how much it costs. And we have also required for deposit once you get into the program, receive the offer. And also, beside of this, the program will have some additional cost. Just want to let student know ahead as well, because it is a program requires practice education. Under BC Practice Education Guide, all of the healthcare student need to complete criminal records check and immunization review as well. So of course, and there's because we are facing patient clients, we also need to test out mask fitting. We are related to food, so we have food safety training there for you. So those will cost additional a little bit here and there throughout the program. Um, and because, as Anna just mentioned, students will be required to attend the placement out of the Vancouver or Greater Vancouver area, which means that your bus pass here will not be able to reach. So you are going somewhere else, then probably you need to think about maybe should I relocate there? Should I move my stuff there? So it will cost a little bit those moving stuff, moving fees or transportation fees there. So there's additional cost definitely for practice education. Um, then the student will ask me what the options we have when we get into the program. Is there any financial support? Yes and no. So we have a little bit limited program award, like freebie award, like the professional award by RFS for our program. But these are very small amount. It's more like merit, may recorded on the transcript. And how our students survive? Well, Anna and other program faculties trying their best not to let all of your days here at UBC. So courses are trying to be scheduled in maybe 3 days of the week. So you have actually 2 days. You can finish work, you can finish homework, or some students actually using this time to do program assistant role, research assistant role, teaching assistant role, those things that are available across UBC campus. You can apply anywhere to any faculty, submit there. Of course, our own faculty will have those positions as well. UBC also have a strong program called Work Learn. It offers a varieties of jobs here, either from administrative support and also all the way to like a research support, food services, or like, even I saw students do, not really our program, but other program, they do janitor jobs there as well. So a spectrum of things that offered by Work Learn program here. Of course, we also have students do some of the part-time work there off the campus. And the program is eligible for BC student loan or Canada-wide, national-wide student loan as well. So those are the financial pieces that I would like to address. And so if you're interested, please also keep in mind that this is planning pieces when you submit your application. And to the pressing point is when you get the offer, you probably need to think about, okay, how I should plan out my next 2 years of financial pieces there. So this is just ahead of the information. Okay, I think, oh wow, time just comes to 4:45, and I would love to stop sharing actually and pass the floor to our audience here. Love to hear your questions if you want to raise the hand. Previously, we have Slido, and I find out that it's been, if you watched before, it could be very repetitive. So this year, I'm just very happy to see you if you, or you would love to present yourself with the screen on, but you don't need to. If you want to have questions, go ahead, take off the, oh, I have some questions here. Oh, yeah, UBC patient food service is always hiring casual supervisors as well. Thank you, Bianca. Yes, there's definitely opportunities here. Any questions? Feel very silent. Okay, so I have the question here. Can you dive deeper into relocation requirement, how placement works? Anna, do you want to talk about that
Sure.
briefly? We don't
Yeah.
have a lot of
So
time. Yeah.
Yeah, so just briefly, and you can also look on the website and the About page when it goes through the program, and it sort of explains a little bit. So, if you want to relocate, so first we kind of do a thing of like if people want to go to a particular town in BC, then it will prioritize those people to go to those places, and then everyone else will rank the different possible placements. We of course work with all of the regional health authorities to recruit placements. So, and then we have students rank the placements to based on their preferences, and then we assign them based on a mix of all of those different things, as well as the different kinds of places. Like I said, there's food service, there's like leadership management placements, there's clinical placements, so making sure you have the right mix. And so that's really the key thing is this mix of things and trying to make it equitable across placements. So I'll put a link in the chat with the policy that explains how we do it, and a little bit more information. But does that hopefully helps you a bit?
Thank you, Anna. Okay, I have another question. I'm under the minimum of 72 for one of the prerequisites. Can I still apply? If not, can I enroll in the course in January and try it again? Okay, I hope my coffee is not being recorded. Yes. So as I mentioned earlier, if your one of the course did not met the minimum requirement, you are allowed to retake a course, and the higher grades will be counted toward your final GPA calculation. Case like this, you will just need to prove yourself registered into Biology 201 in January 2026. If you're a UBC student, don't worry, I can find you whether you register or not by Workday. So this is no problem. And by that time, I assume this candidate will have 4 or at least 3 prerequisites for us to see how the academic performance you have. So then you will be good to go. All right. The next question. When is the undergraduate dietetics info session? So I would love to give you a bit trailer. It's not really officially announced yet, but I actually put on my calendar already. You will see me on November 13 at 4 p.m. as well. Okay, so that time I'm going to talk more about the undergraduate admission. How do you support your grad to find job related to dietetics field? Great question. Anna, would you like to unmute yourself? Yes, go ahead.
Yes, so absolutely. So we do a number of different things. One is we always make sure we coordinate with all our healthcare partners. If they have info sessions, if how, the process of how to apply for jobs, we have that all transparently collected in one document we share with students before they graduate. We also have some preparatory sessions, both talking about the registration exam, which is sort of tied in, how to register for practice with the college, and then also about that piece of how to find jobs, different processes related to, and just sort of individual support if people want us to look at resumes, cover letters, etc., like that. So yeah, definitely always providing support, and pleased to report, yeah, that I think everyone's been doing pretty well. There's lots of openings in BC, maybe compared to other areas of Canada. And so, yeah, I think that's all I can say there, but we definitely support you throughout the process. Being
Yes.
references is another thing, I guess. We're also always welcome to be references for those jobs that you apply for, whether as students or when you graduate.
Yes, thank you, Anna. So when Anna is mentioning about those support or info session stuff, actually, I got another question. People are asking me, what is the difference between internship and a practice education placement? I would quickly explain to you here, and it matters to that point as well. Oh, so our practice education placement is actually a course or courses. So you are going to work with preceptors on site, but also you have one day that need to come back or come onto the Zoom with our instructors here, do some group work, do some learning lecture as well. Those lecture may be also designed or allocated to the resource like health authority come to us, give you a presentation about how to get hired, how to prepare your documents, things like that. So this is very different from internship where you just been get into a job to do the work and done, everything is on your own. But practice education placement is an education component here, and you will get extra information in your year 2, 3 later to get you ready for the industry. Okay, going further, I have a question. If you applied and don't get into the interview or maybe final stage, I could say as well, will receive a notification as to why or receive feedbacks, examples like prerequisite too low, stuff like that. So to my best ability, we will address or notify the student as soon as we can, whether you've been informed for an interview or declined. Usually by the end of the January, if you don't hear us because the interview invitation goes out first. If you don't hear from us by the end of the January, you can shoot me an email. I can see if I have the capacity to quickly respond to you whether you get it or not. As to feedback of the application, unfortunately, we do not able to provide feedbacks, whether how your application goes, what is wrong, what you can work on more. But if your prerequisite is very low or if you have prerequisite issues, I will respond to that because it's very objective, because it's just, there the score is low, you need to working on that. Easy fix, I will tell you. But as to other parts, because the application will be reviewed by a panel and the faculty members will all involved. So everybody has different feedbacks on that. So it's very hard to consolidate everything. So we're not able to provide very detailed feedback on that.
Thank you for answering my question. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, 2 years ago, I asked if MND admission team will look at my most recent master's degree overall GPA instead of bachelor degree. It was mentioned my master GPA will be used. I was wondering if it's still standard for this application cycle. That the answer is yes. So based on G plus PS's website and also the practice, usually undergraduate GPA is the piece that they look at it. However, if your master's degree is related to our field or science field or in general, I would say it will be considered as well. So it's not an issue. Going on. Hello, just to clarify, if I submit my application early, would my reference receive the link to upload the reference prior to November the 15th? Yes. So once you submit the application to the system, it's automatically triggered. The links are sent it to the inbox that you filled in, and they will get it early. And they always have 2 weeks to finish and uploading everything for you. If you have challenges, yes, and also respond. If you have challenges, always reach out to us. We would escalate the case to grad studies. They're able to help fix things as well. Also send reminders. Usually our partner, Leah Maria, will do that. What is the best way to get the syllabi? For example, I took some courses back in 2014. Oh, great question, since I have experience working in grad, what's that called? Enrollment services or registrar's office. So the best way is try to reach out to the faculty or to enrollment service, depending on the university scale. Some of the things may be stored by the curriculum team in registrar's office or enrollment services. Some, like UBC, we are decentralized, so everything is stored and archived in the faculty level. So reach out to, maybe first reach out to the instructor, reach out to the faculty, or check out their website. There's a bit research on my end as well. Sometimes I do see like whether this university changed their course code from A course to B course is actually the same thing. They just changed because of the system upgrading. You can find the older pieces there or find the updated one there as well. So a little bit research on your own and also reach out to previous institution to get this piece. Yes, and also answered. Just saw it. How many applicants do you typically get and how competitive it is? Yes, I got that question in the entry there as well. Yes, it is a competitive program. Just a general stats for you, we usually receive 60 to 70 applications a year in the last 4 years. And we try our best to interview as many candidates as we can. So like last year, we interviewed 36 students. And our number for this year, we're looking forward to get 18 to 20 students into the program. I am a UBC student in nutrition science right now. I took some courses and they are that are in the master curriculum, like nutrition assessment, research and master in nutrition. Would I have to retake those courses or can I transfer? The answer is you have to retake the courses under our MND curriculum. So those are required. Yeah.
They
Is there
are, just to point out that they're similar topics, but they're different courses. They're compounded, they're integrated, they're at a higher level, there's engaged discussions. It's definitely not the same course, although it is the same title. So just, even if you've taken it before, you might feel like you're better prepared coming in, but at the same time, it's definitely a different course as well.
Thank you, Anna. So I have another one. Is there a link to watch the virtual capstone presentation? I think so. We will broadcast the capstone colloquium this December. If you're really into it and then you cannot find the information being posted on the website, you can shoot me an email and I'll pass along to Skylar. He will be able to send you the Zoom link as well. Okay, I think we have 3 minutes more. I'll try to see if I can answer more questions down here. Hi, if someone has already graduated but would like to retake one of the courses to get a better grades before they apply, could they apply an equivalent course at a community college, or would it be better if they came back as an unclassified student? Also, could you let me know how many years of prerequisite course mark remains valid for admission purpose? Okay, first thing first, you can take a course in a community college, and I do advise students to check out our approved course list, especially there's a lot of options in BC that you can take. And in general, we also advise students, if you really want an online option, check out Thompson Rivers University. Even for our own faculty, student advisor, sometimes they have course time conflict there. They will advise students to take courses from there. So you can definitely do that. The second piece is we so far have no policy or cap on the validation of your prerequisite. So if you completed before, that is still fine. But if you're doing somewhere else, please do supply us the syllabi so I can get a sense of what's going on there with your courses. So just as a follow-up question from one of our audience that related to the degree and to the related field. So anyhow, grad studies receive your application. They find there's 2 degree you claimed, and they find there's 2 transcript there, right? They will find the 2 GPAs. They will list the 2 GPAs for us. We will either take one of it and see if it's met the minimum requirement. Usually this is not very strong, that has to be like really that rigid, I would say. Most of the chances we see student achievement of your prerequisite. That one, as long as you met the minimum requirement, you have a base one, that's fine. As I said, some students apply with the background in urban design, in psychology, so that's okay. Okay, I think it's great. The questions are all done here, and it's hitting the time at 5. So I would love to quickly close our session. So I have one more question and more coming up. It's okay, but I do want to stop recording. So the entire session is framing 1 hour. So let me stop recording here.